So, hello everybody, here we are back with the King in Yellow. And I have had to make a couple of changes since the last time. First of all, I made a mistake, which was kindly pointed out by our friend Cat Weasel. When I drew the Mythos card, it said Monster Spawn, however, or Monster Search. However, there was no related gate. So what I didn't do then is I should have actually spawned another gate instead with a monster. So I've done this, and it happened to be in Istanbul, which is really, really convenient. Now, also, our dear friend Diane solved a research encounter. She got a clue, which I was going to save to work on our rumor. But that was actually not such a good decision. I will actually put it onto our mystery. So now we need one more clue to finish this. Now, when we now look at where everybody's at, what we're going to do is we're going to meet in Rome and have a trade fest. Everybody's going to trade with everybody. And then what we're going to be doing is we have 3 clues on the table at the moment. One down here, one up here, and one over here. Now, Diane can bring them all towards her. Also, she can generate clues by moving onto spaces with cultists. If you're in a space with a cultist, you can either push it back by one space in any direction, or gain a clue. This is what she's going to do, because we also need to solve this mystery up here. This rumor up here, for which we need 2 clue tokens. Our friend Zoe, in order for her to complete her personal story, she needs to kill monsters with a combined toughness of 5. So on the board we currently have 3 for the Gnovkech and 1 each for the cultists. So if she were to kill all of them, she would finish her personal story. So she's also she's going to go to the Himalayas, kill the Gnovkech, do the expedition encounter while she's there, and then she's going to join Diane, who's then going to kill those cultists. Diane is going to give all of the clues that she has to Zoe, probably, or maybe, depending on how Lola is doing, to Lola, so that she can fly over the Arctic Circle to solve the mystery. The rumor, I keep calling it mystery. So that Zoe can now Diane can start closing gates, because she needs to close one more gate to fulfill her personal story. So that's what we're going to do. But at the moment, what I would like you to do is I would like you to take a look at our investigators. So here we are. We have Diane, who is amnesic and paranoid. So I don't really know how that works. I mean, it basically means, how can you be paranoid if you don't remember what you're doing? But let's just not go into any detail here. And she has a spell of clairvoyance, a wither spell, and she has an arcane manuscript which allows her to add to her lore when she casts spells. Now, her will is really low. So what we're going to do is we are going to give her a couple of things. When she meets Lola Hayes, Lola is going to give her the Vatican missionary, who grants you 1 additional will. That's important. And she's also going to give her the Instill Bravery spell. And she may bless her with holy water. We'll have to think about who gets blessed. Which brings us to Lola Hayes. Lola is the only investigator who does not have any conditions right now, but she has plenty of stuff. So she has things that she will definitely give to Diane Stanley. Sorry, to Zoe. I keep mixing the two of them up. Lord Researcher, which helps you when you kill a monster. You get a clue and a sanity. Or a task when you defeat a monster with toughness 2 or more. During a combat encounter, you may examine the creature's remains. Observation. Test observation. Well, okay. Zoe's observation isn't really too good, but she may still make it. And if she passes, then she gets 2 clues, and if she doesn't pass, then she just nothing happens. But if she passes, then she gains 2 clues and needs to discard this card, but that's still good. Then we have here an enchanted blade and a blunderbuss, a derringer, a bodyguard, and holy water. We may give the enchanted blade to our friend Zoe because she has no weapon at the moment. So we may give her the enchanted blade, and we may bless her actually. We'll see how that works out. And our friend over here, she definitely would need a blessing. This is Lily Chen. She failed her personal story, so now her maximum will is 5. She has a leg injury. She has a protective amulet, a rabbit's foot, and she has 45 automatics. And she can never gain more sanity than that. But at least, and she has only 1 injury at the moment, so she's basically been able to get rid of some of her conditions. And lastly, our friend Zoe, who has a head injury, which is actually quite problematic because it means she can't regain any sanity, but we'll try and rest her and see what that happens. What happens then? Lucky ring, she has a holy cross which gives a +2 when she does will checks in combat encounters, but she needs a weapon. She cannot go on without a weapon, so she'll go to Rome to meet with Lola, and Lola is going to give her plenty of stuff. All right, so let's go to the board and let's start with the actual action phase, and again Lola will be our first player. So Lola is going to, as a first action, prepare for travel, so that she gets a boat ticket. And then she's going to use this straight away to move to Rome, where she's going to wait, essentially, for everybody else to join her. Next up is our friend Diane, who is going to try and get rid of her conditions. So first she's going to perform a rest action. Let's keep our fingers crossed for her, and I seem to be losing dice. Oh no, here we are. Okay, so she's going to roll 1 die for her paranoia, and she gets rid of it. Very good. Well done. And she's going to roll another die to get rid of her amnesia, and she keeps her amnesia. So obviously that treatment didn't work, but at least they helped her get rid of her paranoia. Okay, so that was 1 action, and the second action will be to travel to Rome. Third action goes to our friend who prepared for travel the last time. So she actually has already got her ship ticket, so she's gonna go to Rome, and she's now going to perform a rest action to see can she get rid of her conditions. And her condition is actually a head injury, which is quite nasty. And she gets a 6, so she gets rid of this of this condition. And actually, let me just check the paranoia. Yeah. Diane gets back 1 sanity. And yeah, Diane is at full sanity and health. And last but not least, our Poor Lily. She's been on her own in Asia Pacific, and it's not been kind to her. So she has also prepared for travel. Unfortunately, for the wrong kind of travel. So she is going to, she's going to go to this place, Mumbai. She's going to keep her travel ticket and she's going to try and get rid of her leg injury. And she keeps it during her rest action. But she gains 1 sanity. Oh no, she doesn't, because she's at a maximum of 5. All right, so this was the action phase. Let's look at the next phase where we're going to trade. And as I've said a couple of times, I use trade as a free action. So now what's going to happen is we're going to give Instill Bravery to Diane Stanley, because she's our spellcaster extraordinaire. We are going to give her the missionary, the Vatican missionary, who will give her +1 on her will checks, on her will in general. So +1 will, because her will is 1. It's really low. We will give the Enchanted Blade to Zoe. We will give the Lodge Researcher ally to Zoe. And we will give the Genealogy Research to Zoe. So Zoe now has plenty of tools that she can use to kill the bad guys and to, well, basically to fulfill her, I guess to fulfill her divine mission. And lastly, we have to make a decision who we want to bless. Now, who would we like to bless? I guess we will bless Zoe, because she will be doing most of the fighting. So we're going to use the holy water and we're going to bless Zoe. And Zoe gets a blessed condition. Here is a blessed condition, and we're going to give this to Zoe, which means that going forward until this she loses this condition, she succeeds her rolls on a 4, 5, or 6. So she is now in a much better position to succeed at tests. So that's actually not so bad then. And let's see where we are going with this. Let's have the encounter phase. Now it's our friend Lola. And Lola will encounter Rome. The Vatican Library is so vast. You ask a librarian for a recommendation. Test influence, which is really good. If you pass, he leads you to a codex that recounts how worshippers of Shub-Niggurath were driven out of Rome. And the story renews your confidence. Improve will. Okay. So she's going to actually use her additional die, which she gets for completing her personal story. So she rolls 6 dice. And she passes already on the first roll, but just to make sure, we're going to roll the second 3 as well. And she passes with 1 success, but that's all she really needs. So she gains a +1 on her will, which is brilliant because her will so far was 3. Now it's 4. Alrighty. Up next is our friend Diane. Diane is going to attract, as I'd like to call it, a clue. And she's going to attract this one because it's the furthest away. So she's going to attract the clue from space 12. And she's going to encounter it as if she was on this particular space. So it's a research encounter for our friend. And we happen to get the first card, and it actually is a C card. A young man in unusually formal wear approaches you during your evening walk on deck. I have been following you with interest. I have what you need, but it will not be cheap. He produces a small package wrapped neatly in brown paper. You may attempt to negotiate with him. Test influence. Well, her influence is 2. And she passes. Brilliant. If you pass, he demands only money. You may gain this clue, a random tome artifact and a debt condition. Okay, so first we get this clue and we put it onto this mystery. She gains a random artifact. Tome artifact, to be precise. Okay, I think they are here. Let's see. Item tome. Arcane tome. Gain +2 on lore tests when resolving spell effects. That's brilliant. When you perform a rest action, you may test lore, and if you pass, you gain 1 spell. This is brilliant. She actually has an arcane manuscript which gives her +1 to lore tests, so she's going to trade that one away to our friend. Well, who else casts spells? Well, we could actually give this to Lily, who's also quite a good spell caster. But of course, now she also gets a debt condition. So she now has a debt condition which she can discard by testing her influence. So, all right. As an action. All right. So now it's Zoe. Zoe is also going to encounter Rome. Let's see what happens to her. You speak to a number of Vatican authorities about your investigations. They carefully consider your story. In test influence -1. Well, her influence is 2, so she rolls 1 die. If you pass, you are thanked for doing good work. Gain a blessed condition. Let's see. She has 1 focus token to re-roll, and she's blessed already. So she rolls a 1. We're definitely going to re-roll that one. And she passes. So if you pass, you are thanked for doing good work. Gain a blessed condition. Now this is the first time actually in this game ever that I take a blessed condition that I already have and I turn it over, because if you gain another blessed condition, flip this card instead. Blessed luck. Your luck has been nothing but a blessing as of late, and you decide to cash in a bit of your good fortune for a small fortune of your own. Gain a funding condition. Well, not too bad. I would have wanted something else, but hey, funding condition. Yeah, I guess she can test her influence and then get a bank loan to buy stuff. So yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not bad. It's just that I would have wanted something else. Okay, so she gets a funding condition. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. And last but not least, I'm already afraid that this might turn out badly for our dear friend in Mumbai, because she has been really unlucky. Let's encounter she's not going to encounter the clue, she's going to encounter a random city space. Corrupt members of the police force pressure you for a bribe. You speak to some people you know to take care of the problem. Test influence. Oh, great. If you pass, the police are apologetic and share their leads with you. Spawn 1 clue. Well, she has 2 influence. And she fails. Of course she does. If you fail, gain a debt condition to pay the bribe. Well, I mean, like I said, there is always one, as we say in Ireland. There's always one. And she is the one who is a permanent... She's just permanently annoyingly in some form of condition. I mean, seriously. So she's now got a dead condition, which is brilliant. She can test influence to get rid of it. Yeah. Well, Lily, you know what? Okay. Now, that is the end of this turn. So what we're now going to do is we are going to have a mythos phase. So let's draw a card from the mythos deck. And it is a, first of all, we have the Omen Track move, and it comes to green, and we have a green gate, 2 green gates, so Doom advances by 2. We have a Reckoning, so roll 1 dice. If it's less than or equal to the number of cultists in play, all investigators lose 1 sanity. So we need to roll a 3 or higher. And we roll a 5, we're good. So that was the ancient one. Let's look at the Gnovkech. It also has a Reckoning. Each investigator on this space loses 1 health. There isn't anybody on this space. Woohoo! So nobody loses a health. Now let's look at our investigators to see what they have. Yeah, we will start with Zoe's dead condition. No, actually, this is not even... Why did Zoe get a dead condition? Yeah, whatever. So, a sorcerer holds you down and carves a symbol into your forehead. Time to pay what you owe, he says. You attempt to dispel the darkness that fills your thoughts. Test lore. Well, her lore is 4. And she passes. If you fail, you have no recollection of your actions, gain an amnesia condition, then discard this card. Do you only discard this card if you get the amnesia, or do you just get it generally? Or discard it generally? I'll just discard it. I just made that decision now. Okay. Her amnesia. Test will. She now has +1. So she has 2 dice and she passes. Okay, so she keeps her amnesia, but nothing happens. Next up is our friend Lily Chen. Leg injury, test strength. Her strength is 4. She passes, nothing happens. Debt condition. Some men have come to collect your debt. Your creditors seem almost forgiving when you tell them you cannot pay your debts. They beg you not to worry, but their kind expression changes as you eat the meal they've offered you. Gain a poisoned condition. Seriously, Lily Chen is condition central. I mean, here we go. Yeah, poison, 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 poison. Nothing. She had one earlier, didn't she? No, that was Zoe. She, the chef, managed to actually give herself food poisoning. Poisoned, here we go. Great. She will have to deal with this on the next rest action. And we have a funding condition for Zoe. If she is on a city space, she may flip this card. Well, let's just do that. No, let's not do this. But she has to check for her blessed condition. Considering that she just got it on this turn, well, that's different. That's Arkham Horror. And she loses it. I don't believe this. I do not believe this. She got blessed and she got blessed again. And now she's losing it. She hasn't even... Okay, whatever. Let's not just, let's just keep quiet. Okay, spawn a gate. Now we're talking. We spawn a gate in the city of the... Well, we're not. The reason is I don't have the Antarctica board out. We're spawning something in the Amazon. And we're going to put a cultist out. Okay. He writes the price on a piece of paper and slides it across the table. It's more than you can afford, but you don't have any other options, and this greedy lout knows it. Everyone has a price. Each investigator may gain a debt condition to discard one condition. No way. No way is anybody on my watch getting a debt condition. Sorry, that's not going to happen. Okay, that is the end, but now we have to look at our mystery. If at the end of the mythos phase there are clues on this card equal to the number of investigators, solve this mystery and you may retreat the omen by 1. Treat the omen by 1. And we take the clues back and put them into the general supply. And we are going to draw another mystery. And this one is the show must go on. Finding answers to your questions will have to come later. For now, the only thing that matters is stopping the performance that has been the performances that have been gaining infamy around the world. When an investigator successfully stops a performance, place the performance token on this card. At the end of the mythos phase, if there are performance tokens on this card equal to the number of investigators, solve this mystery and you may retreat the omen by 1. Alrighty. So we have solved 1 mystery. We need to solve 2 more. Now my question is, when do we actually go to the next act? I'm just going to have to check. Okay. Whenever the omen advances to the green space on the track, the effect on the current act card is triggered, i.e. advance to the next act. Okay, so we are now on the green, so we get Act 2 into play. Act 2 tells us, along the shore the cloud waves break. The twin suns sink beneath the lake. The shadows lengthen in Carcosa. All investigators with a madness condition must immediately resolve the reckoning effect, treating all dice rolls as a 1. Roll 1 dice. If it is less than or equal to the number of cultists in play, all investigators lose 2 sanity. All right? So, since we have to treat everything as a 1, we are below the number of cultists because we've got 3 on the board. So, everybody now loses 2 sanity. Who has a madness condition? Let's see. We have one person with a madness condition, and that is, okay, we have to remove the blessed condition, and that is our friend Diane. So she loses 2 sanity. All right. Now it's interesting to see how the cultists have changed. Cultists now have toughness 2. You have to do a will check when you encounter them, and it's -1. And you have to, and your strength is reduced by 1 as well. All right. So now let's do a final round to check what's happening. I'm going to zoom out. Actually, I'm going to readjust the camera. We have 1 rumor in place, which prevents us from closing gates, or actually ending performances. So we need to get rid of this. For this, we need 2 clues. We're going to get them next turn by doing 2 things. We're going to Lily Chen is going to encounter this research encounter. She'll probably lose because she's hopeless. And our friend Diane is going to move to Istanbul, where there is a cultist. So when she encounters the cultist, well, hang on. Yeah, her action abilities change to the following action. Yes, she can take an action, and her action is simply to go. First of all, she's going to take a travel action. Then her second action is to gain a clue simply by seeing the cultist. And what she's then going to do is, we're going to get Zoe to Istanbul as well, and she's going to take care of the cultist. So Zoe has to... Okay, now let's see. How does that work? From a timing perspective, does that actually work? Probably not. Her action would be to get the clue. And then Zoe would, in her encounter phase, so Zoe needs to go first. She travels. Well, she takes a rest action and she travels. Then she's followed by Diane, who travels and then takes a local action, which means she gets one clue for seeing the cultist. Then in the encounter phase, Diane is going to kill the cultist and then encounter the gate, because there is no way round, although she won't be able to close it. And Diane is then going to encounter this clue. And then she's going to go to the Antarctic on the next turn to actually try and get rid of this mysterious lights condition. Yeah, because she will have 2 clues then. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Lola Hayes will... Lola Hayes will move to Istanbul as well. And she will do a... an influence test to see can she gain stuff, and then she's going to meet up with our friend Lily Chen on the next turn to give her stuff as well. Yeah. All right. So that's it. We have 2 people who have injuries, namely Lily Chen, so she'll have to do a rest action next time. And we have, Diane as well. She's amnesic, but she won't have time to do anything about her condition, unfortunately. Yeah, there is nothing she can do, really. Okay. That's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you very much for the excellent comments that you've been giving me. You know, making mistakes is, I guess, natural in a game like this, and I always like hearing from you guys and correcting my mistakes. And yeah, so talk to you soon. Bye-bye.